Hi, it's the pastor's desk today. I'm Pastor Jim. Good to have you joining with me. And it's also time for a little quick cup of coffee as well. Today on the pastor's desk, love your neighbor. Maybe you've heard this line before. Heidi ho, neighbor. Not original to me, of course. You might remember that from that was the friendly welcome from Wilson living next door to Tim Taylor in the popular 90s sitcom series Home Improvement. If you do remember that, or need a little bit of television education, Tim would be out in his backyard dealing with some dilemma to befall, he and his family, most often of himself, something mechanical perhaps. And Wilson would always acknowledge him with that rousing greeting, peering just eyes high over the fence, the yard fence there. And Wilson would typically have a timely word of wisdom and encouragement. In the Bible, Jesus also knew the place and value of neighborly friendships as he taught his generation. He was asked on this occasion, "Who is my neighbor?" And he replied, "The two greatest commandments are to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, followed by loving your neighbor as yourself." It's found in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verse 31. But who's included as my neighbor nowadays? With Jesus, neighbors were usually considered people in your village or town with whom you'd see them on a regular basis, do business with them, of course. Today, neighbor can still carry that same idea, as we should share the love of Christ with those in our immediate neighborhood. But today, with the advantages of social media, our neighbors can be more regional from different races, cultures, and beyond that as well. In Jesus' eyes, a neighbor is every living, breathing human that God created for us and that Jesus died for. The real question is, how can you love your neighbor? Who is my neighbor? But then how can I love my neighbor? And here are two ways to love your neighbor. This is just in light of Valentine's Day, just passing a little while ago, depending on when you're watching this. A couple of ideas. First of all, say hello, including a smile and make some eye contact with your neighbor, a coworker, the cashier, anyone. I caught a store clerk, a cashier, off guard a little bit a couple of weeks ago when I thanked her for her good service. And she kind of stopped and looked at me and seemed pleasantly surprised and pleased that I would bring a personal, genuine comment thanking her for her service. Secondly, another idea here. Continue the conversation with someone you were acquainted with past hello by asking them how they are, really, and really mean it, like, how are you? And it's all in the way you ask it, of course. They may presuppose that you know a little more about them and that they are currently currently dealing with, and this is why you're asking me. And they may, depending who it is, of course. Be ready to listen as they open up and share. How are you, really? They'll take a minute. You'll take a minute. Here in Cornwall, where we live, we appreciate and support a local ministry called the Agape Center. Most people are not likely aware that their name reflects a unique word found in the Bible for love. Well, we have a single term in English for love, obviously. The language of the New Testament, the Bible uses at least three different terms for the three different kinds of love. The one I've just mentioned, agape, as in the Agape Center, agape, A-G-A-P-E, is the highest, most noble form of love. Interesting. This is God's love. It's a committed, faithful, and self-sacrificing love. That's remarkable. Jesus, who often spoke of this kind of love, told us that we are to love our neighbors as ourselves. And that's the kind of love. That's the word he used, very specific form of love. They had other forms of love as well. Neighborly love, perhaps also akin to a brotherly love, and they would use that word sometimes as well, brotherly love. But to love others as we love ourselves, powerful picture here, as if God was loving them through us. You love them on my behalf, God is almost saying here, because it's this very high form of love. God calls us to reach out to those whom others may be ignoring. You can love them. You can pay attention, for sure. So take a moment to greet others with a smile, a kind word, even a little treat or something, a little memento to let them know that they are noticed. And you can be that caring, attentive neighbor who never lets anyone forget that you love God and that you love others and you love them as God would love them. Take care. I'm Pastor Jim. This is the Pastor's Desk. Bye for now.